Greetings, everybody. This is King Bob coming at you from King Bob's Kingdom. Figured I'd create a short little... Well, this probably won't be that short of a video because it's going to take some time, but I will create a video tonight. Going to basically go through my process for cold and dark to push back in the iFly 737 MAX 8. I've been flying that thing a lot since it came out for 2024. I love it. It's a fantastic plane. It has a few issues, but it kind of still is in experimental mode, so nothing that's deal breaking though. It's very flyable. So let's get started. So welcome to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We're at the Jackson Hole Airport here. Picked this up recently too. I figured since we're here, let me do a little showcase of this. This airport is by Dreamflight, and I picked it up on Contrail. Let's take a look. I'm starting out in this little grassy meadow area here. These trees are done really good, but so here's the parking lot. You can see that's done really well. We'll do an overall look of the airport. Terminals right here. Like the public parking here. The apron and the runway out in the distance. Probably cargo and administration buildings over here. But so far so good. I like these. I like when a developer puts a little time and effort into it. I know you don't really see this when you're flying, and a lot of people don't care about it, but just add something. I'll check it out. There's a Nissan 370Z. Ugly color, but cool. Oh, here's the crosswalk and Jackson Police. Just in case things get out of hand. Well, let's start in the terminal building. There's ticketing. Another ticketing, baggage claim. So let's go to where we would normally start. At the ticketing or check-in counters. Textures are done nice. I like the crosswalk. So in we go. And here is the ticketing area and the check-in area. You can see there's plenty of people waiting to check in on Alaska, United, Delta, American Airlines down there. Got some restrooms over there, which we will not go in because we don't want to disturb anybody. Nice picture of a bald eagle. And trash bins with everything from recycle to air repellent spray. Interesting. The check-in area is done nice. The ticketing area, though these workers, I guess they're all twins. They look kind of angry. Would hate to be him. Once he's next in line for this dude, good luck. Nothing up on the boards in the back there. Nicely. Oh, check out that t-shirt. Elephant. We have some departure and arrival boards up here. Pretty cool. I like the detail with that. You even have detail on the back of the computers that the check-in and ticketing people use. Neat. Over here, looks like this is security. TSA. The good old United States. People waiting to go through metal detectors. So she's on the phone. That's never going to work well going through that metal detector. Same gentleman that works over the ticketing counter. Looks kind of angry. Neat. Done well. Over here looks like a waiting area. Here's one of the waiting areas. Little Jimmy pointing out at something in the distance there. Maybe one of these big 737s or jumbo jets as they call them. Maybe he'll want to fly them one day. That's gate 2. Down there is my Alaska 737, which will be entering for the pushback tutorial. Over here is another waiting area. Gate 3 and gate 4. People doing what they do when they wait on their cell phones. What we do nowadays, isn't it? Like more restrooms back here. TVs on the wall. One with departures, one with the national forecast. The textures are done nice in here too. More bathrooms, obviously. These don't really go anyplace. Oh, what's around the corner here? It looks like we've got a little grab and go door here. Drinks. Some like yogurt and stuff like that. Some other types of snacks, chips. Wonder if they got the Stroop waffle here. Oh, Simple Bites. I love that. Candy. What make America? It's what makes America go. No sugar. Malted caramel sneakaroons. Interesting. Oh, this is done nicely too. No animation in here, obviously, but that would chew away at frames. But oh, here we go. Nice waiting area and a nice bar with some sports games up there. Looks like maybe basketball, yeah, NBA, and some all sorts of booze back here. Look at that. Wow, look at it. The textures are done nice. Bailey's. Yes, please. JD. Vodka. Hennessy. Cool. Get your drink on by this lovely bartender right here. As she is perusing the selection and trying to make up her mind what she's going to order from this nice gentleman. Another nice little waiting area with the fireplace. Cool mural on the wall. Drop that speed down just a tad bit. Nothing back there, just leads to the outside. Gate area. Done really well. Let's head back. Ooh, they got the National Park shop. Is it open? Doesn't look like it. Go back up front here. Over here we got the baggage claim area. Got this cool map on. I love these types of maps, murals. Yellowstone National Park, Grand Teton. Oh, it's the Snake River. Okay, makes sense. And there's Jackson Hole Airport, which we're at right now. Baggage claim area, nothing coming out. These people are patiently waiting for their luggage. They were in Newark. They'd be waiting way too long. Oh, check this out. We have the Chamber of Commerce, like the guest information center. They have complimentary orange juice and complimentary mimosas. Yes, please. I'll take me one of those mimosas or 3. Trash bin done up nice again. Cool mural. Information and baggage services. So you would come to this gentleman if for some reason Delta lost your luggage. Or bathrooms. The waiting area. Oh, cool. Grizzly bear. Oh, check this out. Bear spray rentals. Bear aware. Bear spray drop off. I guess you have to bring it back? Maybe you can rent it? Good question. Don't know. Never been out here. One day. Grizzly bears. And another little marketplace where you can get some snacks, peanuts, and popcorn, and cool little sitting area to watch the planes fly in as you're waiting. Let's cut across the baggage claim area because I thought I saw something really cool. It looks like this may be where, I guess it's one of the areas where you come in when you depart from some planes that don't have gates like that. But check out this arch of antlers. If I remember correctly, I believe there's an arch of antlers in Jackson Hole or something like that, and that kind of makes sense. Pretty neat. Love the detail. So now we're outside. We got a Delta A320 there. The apron with some of the gates. Like this is an admin building here possibly, or what's it say on that sign there? Anything? No trespassing, no dumping. Violators will be prosecuted. Interesting. Go to the opposite side of it. This is the terminal building right here. Decent sized terminal building for, you know, this area. I mean, obviously, not a huge airport, but big enough. Get in some 7.3s and 320s. Parking for airport administration. Again, the textures are done nicely. Keep saying that, but they really are the ground textures here. Some of these gates, are these gates? Yeah, ticket based. E-data. Check out this side of the airport. There's some private jets out there. Some front loaders. Going to assume maybe for snow removal. Oh, these could be for snow removal too, like plows. Private jets. Pretty sure Jackson Hole is a pretty, or it can be a pretty ritzy area, so you probably got some... Oh, look at this guy. Fancy people. Fancy people. Flying their privates in. This guy is not going to let us on board. I don't even want to try it. He's getting ready to give me a good swift kick in the, oh, you know where. Back here, looks like we've got some fuel. This is probably where the jet fuel is. And that's exactly what that is. Jackson Hole Aviation, jet fuel, no smoking. And some other types of fuel. I wonder what this is for. I mean, these for cars, maybe? I guess so. Oh, maybe this is where the trucks come in to fill up? I don't know. This little pickup truck looked like it may be filling up with fuel, but if anybody knows what these are really for, let me know. But I have a feeling it's to fill up the trucks with, I guess, or maybe any other airport vehicles that need fuel. But obviously that wouldn't be jet fuel. There's vehicles there. This looks like it's probably cargo. Big cargo building with some probably 53-foot trailers there. Lumber, some steel. Hangar maybe? Probably. More private jets, business jets, GA style aircraft. Let's go check out this one. What's going on over here? Somebody came up in a golf cart. If they boarded yet. Hey, any chance we can get on that plane? Apparently not. They got the curtains drawn, but let's see. Nothing. That's pretty much the extent of the airport. So this is done really well. I gotta say, I like this. This adds a little something. I know, you don't see it when you're flying. But I mean, there's a market for this stuff. So, and I like it. Adds a little bit of ambiance to the world. Hey, check out this building over here. Looks like we can sort of go in it. Don't know what this would be. Maybe a garage to repair stuff. A little overhang because we know this place gets snow out here. For all sorts of bad weather. So there is the airport in a nutshell. Pretty cool. And you can see out in the distance the beautiful mountains. See 172 down here? Let's go take a look. And it looks like a Cessna 172. Not great. Yep. Well, maybe. I'm not great at my GA spotting. I have no idea what these bigger private jets are. And of course, we're going to come right back. To the commercial side of things here. United 320 maybe. There's my Alaska B7 or 737 Max. Okay, so again, that is KJAC Jackson Hole Airport by Dreamflight. I picked mine up off of Contrail. Go pick it up if you fly in here. But now, let's head back to the cockpit, and we're going to start my pushback. Or I'm sorry, cold and dark to pushback tutorial. Now we're in the plane. So, this is what I do. Whether it's, 100% correct, probably not, but what I've gathered from multiple other videos, and like I said, when I first picked up the iFly 737, I scoured a bunch of. I always do that. I always scour a bunch of videos when I pick up a new plane to come up with, good procedures, good flows, and this is what I've come up with. So, in the iFly, I set up keys. I have 2 goes down to the FCU, 5 goes to overhead, and 8 goes over to the EFB. And then I got key 9 goes down to the bottom pedestal, I guess you call it. And should open up my shades. I'll show you how to fix that too, because that's something that bugs me. These shades are drawn. Let's open these things up. It's cool that you can do that in the iFly. Trying to get some cool views. It can be annoying. So my typical setup is the 1 key is right engine, 4. I'm sorry, left engine. 4 is left wing. 6 is left wing, right wing, and 3 is right engine. Left, right. Yeah, who cares? It's all the same, right? Yeah. No, I don't think so. Oh, by the way, the traffic today is. We'll go back outside. The traffic today is provided by Beyond ATC. Specifically that Delta and this United. There was another United plane here, but it has since departed. All this other stuff comes with the scenery itself. Let's head back into plane. So, my startup procedure, the first thing I do is I power up the EFB, and I think you could do this without, you can do it without powering up the plane. And I go to the system page, sim menu. One thing I like to make sure is I go to panel style and general and make sure I'm on US system. And one thing you got to get used to with this EFB for the iFly is after you make a change, always click set, always click done. And now we know we're in the US system, which is the real system, baby. Yeah, not really. Just what I've learned. So that's really all I set up in here for the time being. The other thing I will do is I will go to system page and I will Hit the back arrow again, ground support. Make sure my chocks are on, which they are, and I like to connect external power. And again, always hit set, always click done. Oh yeah, here's a little tip. Panel style, miscellaneous, cabin sun visors. If you have these, if you have this set for auto, they will do their thing. People will raise them, they will lower them. I just keep them open the whole time. Set, done, again, set and done. And then I'll click back to manual. So now we can start the actual startup of the of this glorious 737. So up top. Again, this is my low. I turn on power. Or I turn on the batteries in the plane. Like so. It will close and arm the cover basically. Make sure my ground power is available, which it is because we've hooked up our ground power unit. And we turn that on and the plane should come to life. Emergency exit lights you always want to arm next. Click it. It'll arm them in cage. And I go up to the IRS. We want to get this going. So to nav to both. We'll eventually flash a line, then to on DC. Looking good there. And then I start my flow here. So I don't touch yaw damper yet. I wait until the plane is started up to do that. I just run down through the list here. Nothing here, but what I do like to do is I like to turn on the aft left fuel pump. We're going to turn the APU on. We can get some air conditioning going in the back. I come up here, the cabin utility lights I turn on, the IFE passenger seat I turn on. Now, APU down here. So it's basically you click it to start, it'll flip back up to the on position. And what we're waiting for is an indication here that it's on. We'll get a blue light. Let's take a look outside. We should see it starting to do its thing. And I could see some heat already. So the APU is in the process. We can actually hear it too. Another good thing. This plane has good sound. Again, sound subjective, but I enjoy it. So we can go back inside the plane, and what we are waiting for here is these two lights to turn blue. So in the meantime, we're going to run through the flow. I like to turn the window heats on now. And I will wait for the probe heats. I don't know why, but I just will. I like to make sure all my hydraulic pumps are turned on. Obviously, they all are. Low pressure in these indicates, hey, you got these. The engines haven't been started yet. And again, it's like every other plane you've flown. You're basically going to extinguish lights. So now we see the APU is available. So it's these APU gen switches right here. We turn on. The blue light will go off. Come over to here to APU bleed. Turn that on. Left pack. Right pack to auto, so we can get some air conditioning going on in the back. Again, I just kind of roll down through here. I'm not going to turn on probe heats yet. Nothing else here I really need to do. Already done the APU bleed. The packs are on. Come down, I will turn my position and strobe to steady. I'm going to turn on the fasten seatbelt signs and make sure that no smoking lights are on. The signs are on, which they are. So we're kind of set up for the time being up top. There's not a whole lot more we can do, or what I do right now. So now I'm going to go down to the FMC and start programming that. So the FMC is, if you've done any other Boeings, you're probably familiar with it. So Click on FMC. First thing you're going to want to do is tell the system where you're at. So you click on pause in it. Many ways to do this. I've seen people put in reference airport and gate. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the second page, grab the GPS left. If you click next to it, puts it down in the scratch pad, go back previous page, click next to it. Anything that has boxes is something that you should probably be filling in. And like so, our IRS is alive and the plane knows where it's at. So then the next step I do is I click on route. Many ways to do this. If you want to do it manual, feel free. I already have a sim brief, say that 10 times fast, flight plan already created. So we're going to request that. Route 1 uplink is ready. We click load. Then you could activate here, but I like to give it a flight number, so I know what Alaska. It's ASA. Okay. Thought it was AKA for some reason, but it's ASA. So we'll just give it ASA, and we'll go with my typical 2112. If anybody knows that reference, let me know. Activate. Execute light will light up. Click it. At this time, I also like to do my departures and arriving runway. So let's go check out the SimBrief flight plan. Let's see what it has us choosing here. So we're runway 19. So you go to the departure and arrival. Departure for Jackson Hole. 19. Alpine 4 is the SID. Transition is ITA. And execute. Click index to go back. That took me a bit to figure out how I got back, but it was pretty simple. Going up to Seattle on this trip. Arrival. 16L. Excuse me. The SID is Chins 5. PDT transition. There's nothing further on that. Excuse me. Gotta get a quick drink of water. Hopefully that helps. Okay, I'm back. I just had to mute that. Execute. Of course, now my throat's going to go all crazy. So now our departure and arrival has been inputted. I'll click on route again, and we're going to be doing the perf init screen next. And that we need to go over to the EFB. Payload and performance. Weight and balance. Passenger count 134. Click in there, type in your passengers, and you click anywhere else in this black box here, and it adds, and it will split them up into, I guess those are seating groups, I don't even know. Then you want to do your cargo. Our cargo today is 5896, so I like to split it as close to half as possible, so that's 6, so we'll go 3,000 in the aft. And then 2896 up top, or in the forward. 2896. Click. Perfect. Click set payload. That will set the passenger and the cargo. And always click done when you're finished. Now we got to set our fuel. Fuel today, block fuel is 14,754. So we'll round it up to 14,800. 15,800 pounds. Again, you click there, you're going to get the little blinking cursor, 14,800. Click anywhere there. There's your fuel, and it's going to split it between the two tanks, and nothing in the center for this trip. Click set fuel. Click done. I like to click set payload again and done just to make sure. And then complete. Your plane has been loaded. So this takes us to the performance takeoff. So what I like to do is, since we've already inputted a lot of that into the FMC, I like to click on copy FMC data, and it's going to go grab it for us. And you could check out to make sure it's all correct. You know, airport, runway, conditions, wind, QNH. We're going to go for no D-rated takeoff, so we'll just be straight up takeoff. Flaps 5 is typical. Air conditioning will be on. Anti-ice off today because you don't need it. 72 degrees outside right now, outside air temperature. So, and at that point, you click calculate. I've never seen that before. No takeoff allowed. Plan weight exceeds maximum allow 130042. So we need to go back into our weight and balance. What did we do wrong? It doesn't matter. We're just going to give it 2,000. Payload done, complete. Go back to that. Go to calculate now. Come on, 13053. Why are we so heavy? Why did SimBrief give us this if it actually can't do it? You know what? No cargo today. We're still heavy. Sorry about that. There's something that is not right here. Passengers. How many passengers, I guess? Try with 120 passengers. Will we be below it? No, it wants to be below 130. Something's not right. Whatever. No, that's not going to allow me to do that either. Okay, let's go back into weight and balance. We're just going to give it like 50 passengers. SimBrief kind of screwed me on this. Okay, we're below 130. So that's what should have happened. I don't know why SimBrief... Oh, I wonder... Curious. I think when I set up the SimBrief, maybe I didn't... That's what it is. I don't think I chose the profile for the iFly. That's my mistake. Okay, no worries. So basically, you shouldn't be getting that, but again, weight and balance, passenger, cargo, complete. Do the same thing for fuel. Copy FMC data. Okay, here we go. So now, again, this, since we've already started the FMC, we gave it where we're departing from what runway. It's basically pulling other information: wind, outside air temperature, QNH. Flaps 5 is normal. Air conditioning on, takeoff, anti-ice off. Okay, perfect. Now we can click calc and we should get some numbers. Hey, that's what we're looking for. And we're gonna want those numbers. So back over to the FMC. Let's reduce that. So, in the FMC, the first page, if you just right-click next to zero fuel weight, this is how I typically do it. I right-click, calculates it, and then left-click, puts it in, and then it fills out the top one up here also. I always give it 2.0 for reserves, 2,000 pounds of reserves, basically. You can fill out the rest of this stuff if you want. Cruise wind. I don't. Transition altitude. Maybe you should. US, it's always 18,000, so we're flight level 180. You always want to make sure your cruise altitude is set correctly, which it is. Cruising at flight level 380 today. Looks good. So the next thing you do is you click on N1 limit. And what we're looking for is the outside air temperature. So that's over here. Cell temp, 50 degrees. So that is going to go here. 50. Boom. I told it wasn't going to be a D-rated takeoff. It's going to be straight up. Looks like it's going to derate our climb, but we'll just leave it that way. You click on takeoff. You enter your flaps, which we already said was 5. For your center of gravity, which is going to set your trim, I want to right click here. It's going to be 22.8, and then left click, and it sets your trim for you. I don't know if you saw that in action down there. It's kind of cool. I like that. And then let's see what it had for V1 rotate V2 for us. 125, 27, 37. 125, 20. That's close enough. So you can see how they're small or not bolded, I guess. You left click by them, that basically accepts it. So 125 for V1, 127 for rotate, and V2 speed is 136. At that point, we are good to go for pushback. You can, at this point, roll through your legs here. You see if you have any discontinuities and vectors. I like to set over to plan and just step it out. Clicking the step button, and it will take you through your flight plan. Bingo, bingo, bingo. So it looks like that's where we're going to need some vectors. Yeah, Auburn. So from Auburn, it's basically taking us on vectors, and we'll basically vector ourselves to... Does that say Carfo? And you should check that. If you're using ATC, they will vector you. If not, do whatever you need to do to close that route. Just make sure it works. You're not trying to pick up the ILS or whatever you're trying to do too soon. So then at that point, I also like on the second FMC over here, I just pull up the progress page, legs on the first. Now I'll complete out my FMC up here. So V2 is 137. So what I do is I set my initial heading to 137 here. Whatever your altitude is, we know we're rolling it up to 38. If you're using ATC, you're going to do whatever the SID tells you to go to. Not using this, so we'll just climb straight out to flight level 380. Come on, WinWing, get your stuff available. I need some new hardware. I have to use this mouse. But the mouse is a good teaching tool, by the way. I think Aeronaut taught me that. Nice to have the hardware, but people can actually see what you're doing, which is kind of neat if you're trying to show them. So then the other thing we want to do is we want to set the initial heading for the runway. That's over here. Now, how I do that is we want to pull up some charts. So I click back to menu, terminal charts, use airports from FMS, complete. Jackson Hole. What's our departing runway? 19. There it is. The 19 is at a course of 18 or a heading of 180. So we'll roll that into our heading knob, like so. I arm my auto throttle. I also turn on flight directors at this point. Arm VNav and arm LNav. LNav may or may not arm. There is, and I got to dig that up. Sometimes my LNav won't arm. It has something to do with distance, maybe to the first waypoint or something. I'm not quite sure. I got to look into that. I'm sure there's a plenty of resources I could figure it out, but in this case, it arms both, so that's cool. So we're good with that. We can get rid of the built-in EFB in 2024. The only other thing I like to do is I like to choose my arriving airport, which is Seattle. Hit clip. It took me a little bit of time to figure out, but these are your approaches. So this is where what you would want to choose, or what I would choose. And what are we coming in on? 16 left. For 16 left, ILS. Good. Complete. So you'll be able to switch back and forth. Just the generic 10-9 chart for Jackson Hole. For Seattle, we have that, plus the airport info chart, plus the ILS. You could put your SID charts up here, your star charts, you know, whatever you would prefer. You keep that up over there. So now we're ready for pushback. And here's one of those bugs I was telling you about. It just doesn't focus. Probably a LOD issue, but it's not game breaking. I think a couple of the other bugs. Apparently these airport maps, they don't work. Be kind of cool. And then the RAAS system, which I'm not 100% what that is. I think it has something to do. It tells you like how much distance you have left on a particular runway, or it will alert you when you're coming up to a runway. Like if you got 1,500 feet left, or if that's runway 34 right, or whatnot. I think. Don't quote me on that. If anybody knows, let me know. All right. So we're ready for pushback. So for me, that's GSX. We can go outside and see what's going on. And here they come, wing walkers and the pushback dude or dudette. All right. They're going to go ahead and attach a tug, which is pretty funny because it's behind these barricades. GSX. That's actually could be a scenery thing too, but you could set your course now too. I use this for, and I think that's what you're supposed to use it for the course for your ILS approach, basically. Not mandatory to set it now. So up top, as we're getting ready for pushback, I like to turn on my anti-collision lights, because beacon lights, basically. Look good up top, so in the meantime, we can go ahead and release ground power system. Ground support. Remove the chocks, disconnect electric, set and done. Remember, set and done to do anything. So 19 is to the left, so we'll tell them to roll left. It's asking us to release the parking brakes. Okay, so now we can start the engines. Packs come off. I'm going to start engine 1 first, over to ground, and we wait for N2 to reach 20%, or 20, I think that's 20%. There's 20, and we feed it fuel. Listen to it start up. Love this. Here it comes. Let's head back into the cockpit. And what we're waiting for, I just missed it, but it'll automatically switch over from ground to off once the engine is ready. I've seen people use this switch when they're starting a particular engine, but I've also seen people just leave it in both, so that's what I do. So now engine 2, same procedure. Over to ground. Wait for 20% here on N2. There's 20%. Feed it fuel. Back outside. I've seen people blur the background. I don't know what keystroke does that. I gotta look into that also. I like that with the blurry background. And here comes engine 2. Thank you, sir. That spools up. And you watch once the engine is ready, see it's automatically went from ground to off. So now the engines are spooled up, good to go. So at this point we can I made a mistake. Should have had all your fuel pumps turned on. I like to keep left F on for APU start and then turn everything else on before I start the engine. So that's a mistake on my part. I also like to bring the probes to on right now. You notice the lights extinguished because they were in auto. I don't know if it's mandatory to flip them off from auto or not, but we're going to. So we don't need the APU anymore. So APU bleed can come off. APU can come off. And I messed up. Forgot to... Don't do what I just did there. You're going to want to make sure before you turn your APU off that the gens for engine 1 and engine 2 are on. Now that the engines are providing power or providing electricity to the plane, electrical to the plane, basically. Stupid me. At this point, make sure the packs come on. Again, don't do what King Bob did. Before you turn APU off, make sure you turn on the Gen 1 and Gen 2 for the engines. That all looks cool up top. I also, the isolation valve, I turned to auto now. Again, we got our packs going. APU bleed is off. You're going to want to verify that your altitudes are correct here for pressurization of the cabin. So this automatically fills in your flight level of destination airport and the airport you're departing from. If not, make sure those are correct. That all looks good up there. I like to bring my strobes to the top position here. We'll throw the logo lights on. You don't really have to. Since we're getting ready for taxi lights can come on. Runway turn-off lights can come on also. Yaw damper can come on. Now we look up top here and we do not see any yellow light. So that's telling me, hey, you're good to go. I'd like to go down to the pedestal now. Make sure our transponder is set for TA. We're getting ready to taxi. Do a quick check. Look, everything's good here. Auto brake goes down to RTO, which is rejected takeoff. And your flaps can come down to flaps 5 or whatever you set it for. That's typical flaps 5 for takeoff, so. Nice sound on the flap extension. All right. Now at that point, we are good to taxi, and obviously Beyond ATC playing games with us here. This is what you call a... I'm going to say it. I'm sure I'll get criticized for it, but a Mexican standoff, so it is what it is. I don't know why it's called that, but... or chicken. Who's going to give up first? Beyond ATC for the win. I guess they're actually taking off from the opposite runway where SimBrief told us to. So, little bonus footage here. Let's get this bird into the air. Parking brakes can come off. Little throttle. It should start moving on its own. Sorry, Mr. Plane with no wheels. Hello, D issues, baby. Gotta love it. But you know what? Warts and all, I'll take 2024 over 2020 any day of the week. Any. As we taxi out, you're just trying to maintain center line on the taxi lines there. Did he start moving back there? He did, but there's a... Oh, maybe somebody else taxiing out behind me that United in the distance. Gorgeous scenery around here. Look at those mountains in the distance. I want to say the Tetons are out here someplace. That could be these over here. Not 100% positive about that. I don't know this area all that well, but I definitely bucket list to get out here, that's for sure. Nope, not paying attention, should be maintaining center line. And I'm using my Virpil light stick Constellation Alpha with the twist for tiller. I also have a pair of Virpil rudder pedals for rudder duty. I do not use those to steer the aircraft with, just the Virpil twist. And it is much better than the Thrustmaster one was. The Thrustmaster one eventually had issues with got really noisy. Not so much with the Virpil. Haven't had that issue at all. It sticks built much better. Okay. We'll hold here. Parking brake can come on. Back up top. Landing lights can come on. Everything else looks fantastic. Back down to the pedestal. Over T-A-R-A. And we are good to go. Off the parking brakes. Let's taxi out to the runway and get out of Dodge. Or Jackson Hole, as they say. Now here's something else I'm trying to figure out also. About chronos and clocks. I'll explain in a second once I get... yeah, this isn't the way we should be taking off. Look at that wind. Oh, I know. I don't have it on real weather. Or do I have it on real weather? Alright, let's stop here on the parking brakes real quick. I just want to check something. I do it out. So why would Simbrief... no. I guess this is the correct runway. It's a crosswind. It's not really a... Unless United thinks it's proper too. Okay, no big deal. So, procedure for takeoff. Pretty simple. Parking brake off. On the toe brakes. Pull the engines to 40%. Let them become stable. Like so. Little forward pressure on the flight stick. Off the toe brakes. As we start to roll. Hit toga. Hit toga? There it goes. Maintain center line with your rudders. 80 knots. He's back on the flight stick. Maintain center line.
V1.
And rotate. Man, she used a lot of the runway there, huh? And we're up. Positive rate gear can come up. Do your best to follow those flight directors. And put it into autopilot when you like. Follow your flap schedule when it tells you. So once we get to 1, we can move our flaps up from 5 to 1 and then up. It's basically that. Windy up here. And we're approaching the upspeed. Like so.
2,500.
Flaps can be retracted. I think I just found another bug in the iFly. One wing flexes. The right wing does not. Interesting. And that is basically it for my version of the cold and dark pushback. The taxi. To even take off. So, hope you gained a little bit of information from this. If you did, throw me a like, throw me a sub. Hope everyone has a wonderful day out there. This is King Bob. I'll see you again. See ya.